Right, 18 March 2025, and today is yet another day of updates, and this month is going to be very, very busy. This is going to be my busiest month ever, and this is because we've got a lot that is happening in Zimbabwe, and I want to start with very quick news. We've got a lot of news today, so I need to cover all the news that is happening so that you know what is important, and I'll give you everything. So this is going to be like your best newspaper of the region. So today I'm going to cover Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and Zambia. So all our viewers from across this region are basically using Gambakwe to summarize what is going on in the region. And the plan is for us to go to some sort of 24-hour news within the next year. So that is the plan for me to make up about a 24-hour news channel of some sort, so that we have news that is relevant and up to date. So let's start with what's important. And I want to take you back to what I said yesterday about mercenaries and what it means. So Mnangagwa has brought in a lot of mercenaries into Zimbabwe, and mercenaries are people who fight for money. So when they fight, they don't care why they're fighting. They are just told, shoot in that direction and shoot that person, and they do it. And yesterday I showed you the guys from Sierra Leone. That is the two guys at the front. That is ex-military. And then if you look behind them, there is another guy over there, and it has turned out that that guy is from Singapore. And then another guy behind the one with the red t-shirt, that guy is from China. However, that is not all. My military sources tell me that there is a multitude of military people that have been brought into Zimbabwe, and some are even residing in neighboring countries. So we're talking here of South Africa, we're talking of Mozambique. Those are the two countries where I've been told that Mnangagwa has put some mercenaries on standby on top of the guys that are in Zimbabwe. Last week, I also told you about the trip by young Kuda Mnangagwa to Russia. So young Kuda Mnangagwa went to Russia, and he met with officials from Russia. And you remember that Mnangagwa has asked for assistance, blaming Zambia for the situation in Zimbabwe, claiming that President Hakainde Hichilema is somehow influencing events in Zimbabwe and working against Zimbabwe. So we have multiple armed people that have now almost came around Zimbabwe, and some that are inside Zimbabwe, but it's almost like a standby force, given what is going to happen at the end of this month. On the 31st of March, the military, through the war veterans, has announced that Mnangagwa must step down and he must leave immediately. So we have a whole bunch of people that are now waiting, and I've been given numbers. I've talked to people that have seen these guys, some of the guys, and someone has told me also about mercenaries from India. So a small group that came from India. So there's a whole lot happening right now, and Mnangagwa is panicking for a good reason. The military has slipped out of the control of Mnangagwa. Most of the guys in the military are actually backing Chiwenga for his presidency. They want Chiwenga to take over as the president. And this is a very dangerous situation that is developing in Zimbabwe, which could result in soldier against soldier within a month. So within this month, you could see soldier against soldier. Whatever happens on the 31st of March is not going to end well. It's going to end in a fight. And that fight will be against one soldier, one group of soldiers going up against another group of soldiers. So what Mnangagwa has tried to do is to change the command. So the command of the soldiers has been changed. Most of the guys at the command level, that is the brigadier general level, have been replaced, have been moved, and some of them have been retired. And this includes the police, where Stephen Mutamba has been appointed to replace Matanga. So you remember Matanga was replaced, and also other changes that have taken place in the Air Force earlier last year. And in the Army, we've not seen a big change at the level of the commander of the Defense Forces. But I expect a change to take place here very, very soon at the top, if it has not already taken place in private. So remember, the commander of the Defense Forces of Zimbabwe has reached retirement age. Very, very interesting what is going to happen here. We are going to see something very interesting. And remember what I said, the bigger picture is that the military is going to be in charge between now and 2035. So between now and 2035, the military is going to be in charge. However, how that happens and how Mnangagwa is removed from office is going to be very interesting. The military has a strategy, the military has a plan, and the military, once they start moving, they don't stop until they reach the objective. If you see a military making a move, they cannot change during the move. So that's why I always tell you guys that this is not reversible. If a military say, we've taken step one, they only retreat if they're losing. And at the moment, they're not losing. They are waiting for the 31st of March. So we're going to see a very interesting development during this period, which is less than 15 days to go. So we're just about 17 to 18 days to go, and you're going to see something very big. The war veterans are quiet, but they're not quiet for a reason. It's a strategy, it's a tactic, it's a plan, and you're going to see everything working. However, the reason why Mnangagwa is bringing in mercenaries is because, one, he's got nowhere to go. So which country do you think Mnangagwa can go? The people in Dubai, the Crown Prince of Dubai has invited Mnangagwa to come to Dubai, and he's not gone there. This was done on national television when everyone was watching. Murwira talked about it, and that invitation was put out for Mnangagwa to go. At the peak of this war situation, the Crown Prince of Dubai has said, come over and stay in Dubai. Mnangagwa has not taken up that offer. However, as we heard General Wende speaking here, Mnangagwa has a house there. Alternatively, Mnangagwa could go to Kenya. So in Kenya, this is where Wikino Chivayo is over there with Lulu. You can see the pictures that are being taken on a daily basis. And as I said to you, everyone has ran away. So all the guys around Mnangagwa have ran away. If you look at Scott, if you look at Wikino, you look at Tagwire, all these guys, they just pop into Zimbabwe for a minute and then they go. They don't spend time there. Mnangagwa's kids have left the country. Only people that don't know are still sticking around in Zimbabwe, because it's going to get very hot by the end of this month. We're talking 17 days, counting down 17 days. It's going to be massive. It's going to be so exciting, especially for guys who like to see gunfights. If you like gunfights, you're going to have a lot of fun on the 31st, because as we Mushe, the situation has reached another level. So just for you to know, no one right now is making any long-term plans in Zimbabwe. Most people have stopped. They're watching. It's like you're in a movie, and you're at that moment when everything is frozen and you're waiting for the action. Very, very interesting period. And the mercenaries are just another new actor. We didn't see their faces before, but you're starting to see them. And one thing you will see when the mercenaries are around is more gun crime. These guys, they make the money through cheating, lying, and stealing. And you see a lot of gun crime in Zimbabwe. So don't walk around with money in your pocket or in your hand, because as soon as you do so, they will take it from you. We are now looking at a very, very bad period. But the end of Mnangagwa has arrived. Mnangagwa is gone. Right, I want to now go to some news. Let us go to some news. And as I was saying, the change is taking place in the military in front of your eyes. You are seeing something you've never seen, so much change in command. And this all started that time when I showed you that the military had made a decision, and those are the days of John Doe. You remember John Doe, when Mnangagwa's jet was forced to fly back from Victoria Falls. This is when everything started. So we're almost a year now. In fact, the day that I call day one is this day here. Day one was the 31st of March, 2024. This date is very significant. They did not choose the 31st of March for nothing. The 31st of March, 2024 was the day when Chiwenga boycotted Mnangagwa's meeting at Mbungo, where Wikino Chivaya arrived in a jet, in a helicopter with Mnangagwa. There were 2 helicopters on that day, and Chiwenga did not show up. That chair you see on the left, that was Chiwenga's chair. He didn't show up, and that was the 31st of March, 2024. So they are marking 1 year of resisting Mnangagwa. So at that point, Mnangagwa then pretended that he was not friends with Wigner, but now he's just openly showing his relationship with Wigner, and the army is very, very angry. They do not want open corruption from a president. They call him a rogue president. And you remember, this is very clear. There is no question about it. The statement has been put out there.
You have failed this nation. You have failed us. And you have succeeded to put your family on the fore as one of the worst, the most hated in the history of the world. You can redeem yourself by doing the right thing. Step down.
Step down. Step down will make you step down. That is the statement from the military. There is no question about it. Mnangagwa is in a very, very tight corner. You won't be able to get out of this one. No number of mercenaries is going to keep Mnangagwa in office. And you can take that to the bank. Right, now let's go to some news. I've got lots of news today, and I'm not even not knowing where to start, but let me start somewhere. Let me start with the police. So in Bulawayo, a young lady was killed. Cassandra, a detective. So this is the police command here. Stephen Mutamba, Ngirandi, Ngube, and Chipato. So this is the CRP command. The family of Cassandra Hove is saying they need answers. How was she killed? Who was there when she was shot dead? And they've made a very big fuss about this whole situation. She was buried this weekend. And so Commissioner General Stephen Mutamba has now ordered an investigation. And he says the police will reveal the results of how she was killed, who killed her, and who was there when she was killed, and why such a shooting took place when she had said she was leaving the police. So she was just about to leave the police in an all-female detective unit called Lozi K, the most popular group of young females. And who is Letty? Who fired the shots? That is what people want to know. Who is Letty? Where is Letty? How did she shoot Cassandra? What happened at that time? Why were they on a mission at night? Was there any intelligence? Very interesting. So I want to see what the police are going to say. But if I know the police as I do, the police in Zimbabwe, it's just like asking someone who doesn't know what they're doing to investigate. I don't even want to say it. It's so bad. The police, I want to keep a good relationship with the police because I know that one day we'll meet, but it's bad. These police are the worst. Mutamba, I don't even know. I've never seen him speaking. In fact, I've seen him speaking, but very rare. So I don't want to say something bad about Mutamba because I know him. I don't know him. I know Uyu Matanga. Matanga was worse. So I hope that Stephen does better. Stephen Mutamba does better. It's crazy what the military, what the police are doing. And you know that the military has warned Mutamba not to interfere with the protest on the 31st. So let's see what it does with the Cassandra situation. Then the biggest story in sports is Benjani Marwari. Benjani Marwari is rich. This man has got so much money now. After Ngezi Platinum was forced to pay him $600,000 for unfair dismissal. So I do not know who at Ngezi Platinum has came up with this stupid idea to fire Benjani without notice. However, whoever it is has cost Ngezi Platinum $600,000. That is how they're going to pay him. He was the coach there, and FIFA has ordered the club to pay this former head coach $600,000. He was fired in 2022 after just 12 weeks in charge. These are the most expensive 12 weeks for Ngezi Platinum. That is $50,000 a week. Ngezi Platinum, very silly to fire someone for such a stupid reason. So that is Benjani Marwari, 600,000 richer. And his assistant coach is also arrived there. He's got a case at FIFA. So we're going to see a whole lot of money coming out of Ngezi, but they're in platinum. They've got a lot of money. They will give him the 600,000. Otherwise, they won't be able to transfer any players. Crazy stuff happening in Zimbabwe football. Then let's look at other stories. I'm going to go to, so I need to be systematic now. So let's go from there and go to business, to entertainment. We're going to go to Kamshinda here. So Kamshinda is a Zimbabwean businessman based in Namibia. He has been ordered to pay 140 million rands to SME Bank, which he defrauded. This is one of his houses, one of 3 houses. I don't think houses in Namibia looks very nice. If this is the house of a CEO, this is crazy. So 3 of his houses have been auctioned. Today they are going to be on auction. So if you want to buy the house of Kamshinda, 3 houses are on auction. They're trying to recover 140 million. But I don't think they're going to get it from these houses. Kamshinda was also involved in the fraud at the VBS Bank in South Africa. So that man was involved in the collapse of 2 banks, SME Bank in Namibia and VBS Bank in South Africa, on top of running away from Zimbabwe, where he did other crimes. What a crazy man. Let's see if we can find a picture of Kamshinda so that you can have a mugshot. Kamshinda is one of the worst people ever, connected to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, one of the worst banks ever. And you know the guy who is there currently, John Mushayavan, the worst banker, the worst central banker ever. I've never seen a worse central banker, even worse than Gideon Gono, even worse than John Mangunja. I have never seen a worse. So let me show you a picture of Kamshinda so that you can see. Right, we want to show you the face of someone that is involved in 3 bank collapses. That is crazy and unbelievable. So I want to show you Kamshinda. Just 1 second. Right, that is Kamshinda over there. So Zimbabwe has some of the smartest people, like really smart guys, but also some of the worst robbers. So that is Kamshinda here, a banker who is involved in robberies of bank collapses in Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, and probably in Zambia. If I'm not mistaken, there's something in Zambia and also in Botswana. This guy is involved in multiple bank failures and robberies. Cuba, that is Cuba. Then let's go to Malawi. In Malawi, Shepherd Bushiri is today sleeping in jail. So that is his first night in jail with his wife, Mary. They escaped from South Africa in 2020 with the assistance of the presidents of South Africa and the president of Malawi. So the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, and the president of Malawi assisted with this escape, according to intelligence sources. Bushiri escaped in the jet of the president of Malawi, disguised as a bodyguard. So he was disguised as one of the bodyguards. I do not know who Mary was disguised as, but they managed to leave the country. And now a court in Malawi has ruled that Bushiri must come back to South Africa and answer charges. And these charges include money laundering, racketeering, all sorts of things. He's accused of these things. And however, he's appealed for bail. So he's been allowed to apply for bail. And once he gets out on bail, you know what is going to happen. Bushiri is probably going to leave again. He's probably going to run away from Malawi. So this is a very bad situation in Malawi at the moment. This man is wanted across the whole of South Africa. There are multiple cases against him. And the moment he gets into South Africa, he's going to face a lengthy jail term. I'm not seeing anything less than 100 years for Bushiri for the things that he's done here. They've also confiscated everything, including his house in Centurion. They've taken his jet, and they've taken away his bank accounts. They've even taken away his land. I know one of his lands that have been taken recently in South Africa. So we're looking forward to see all this happening to Bushiri. As you know, Bushiri closed my YouTube channel 3 times. 3 times Bushiri closed my YouTube channel. And at least I now know, I hope that he understands how it feels to lose everything. Now let's go to Botswana. My favorite president, President Dumaboko, is in Washington, D.C. Do you see that beautiful picture that he took over there? President Dumaboko, so connected to the people. I like this president. He's showing a new face of a president. So he met the diaspora in Botswana, sorry, the diaspora of Botswana in Washington, D.C. And he had a good engagement with them, asking them to come back home and help the country to do well. As you're aware, Botswana is undergoing a lot of problems, economic problems, arising from the economic model of Botswana. So the economic model of Botswana is based on diamonds, and President Dumaboko has said they now need a new approach. And this is one of the most powerful speech that President Dumaboko has given to the Botswana diaspora over here. Youngsters from Botswana are doing well in the United States, but you can never do well in a foreign country. So I always tell people, you can never do well in a foreign country. Even if I make you Strive Masiwa, if Strive Masiwa passes in Santon, no one knows who he is. If he passes in New York or in London or in Washington, they just see, who is this guy? So Strive Masiwa knows what I'm talking about. You are no one in a foreign country, but you're someone in your own country. So President Dumaboko has made this point very, very well. And there's no one to blame. So there's no one to blame for the situation in our countries, except what he said. If you are a citizen of a country, you can't just let the situation happen. You must participate. You must become part of the solution. And President Dumaboko, very, very clear and very interesting. I hope that he gets success with his plans for high-speed rail, because that is the only solution for Botswana. He needs to connect Botswana to the coast in Mozambique, through Zimbabwe, and also all the way up to Angola, through Zambia. Botswana must become some sort of a hub. At the moment, when you go to the airport, you are the only person there. Like literally last year when I was at the airport in Botswana, I left early because you know the situation that was happening. So I had to leave my hotel in a rush. I went to the hotel, to the airport there, and I was there by 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I was the only guy at the airport. Can you believe an airport where there's one person? That was crazy. And the reason is no one comes to Botswana. There is nothing to go for. When people get into Botswana, the only reason you're there is either you're military or you are into mining. If you want to see an animal, you have to drive 1,000 kilometers to see the next animal, which is crazy and unbelievable. I cannot believe that a game park is so far from the airport. There is no one who's going to come to Botswana. So what they are now doing in Botswana is to take pictures of the animals or videos and then do what is called e-tourism, which is unbelievable. I cannot believe that people are watching animals on TV because it's so far to get to the animals. Right, then let's go to Mozambique. Sekuruvena Venancio Mondlane has been detained for 10 hours by the police, where he faced questioning. So he was questioned for more than 10 hours. And then they released him. You remember that Venancio said he wants to have a conversation or a dialogue with the Mozambican authorities, but they've refused. Instead, they've arrested him and kept him for 10 hours and questioned him and then released him. They've also arrested his financier. So he calls him a financier. So I don't know whether that's the guy who raises funds for him or what, but they've arrested him. He's currently in jail. Then in more business, in South Africa, the new CEO of Nedbank Bank has been paid 80 million signing bonus. He's coming from Absa. So Jason Quinn joined in 2023, and he has done very well. Nedbank has increased their profits and the share price has risen. And as you know, Nedbank is part of the portfolio of Old Mutual. Old Mutual has recently opened a new bank. Old Mutual's strategy is to go to the mass market, and they're doing very, very well. So this new CEO of Nedbank was given 8 million to replace the income that he lost when he quit Absa with immediate effect. So 80 million signed on bonus and an additional 18 million pay this year on top of these incentives. So that is just an incentive. To put it into perspective, the salary of a CEO of the JSE top 100 is an average of 5 million. And then their bonuses can $5 million. So $5 million, that is how much they earn. So 5 million times 20 is about 100 million rands. So that's how much they earn a year. And if you are the CEO of a bank, the pressure on you is extremely high. You don't sleep. You wake up to all sorts of problems and you should be able to manage very difficult situations. So that is why these guys are paid such big amounts, including the CEOs of almost 100 companies. And out of those hundreds, the local guys, that is South Africans and other Africans, are less than 10. So out of the top 100 JSE, it's less than 10. A CEO makes a big difference. So if you have a bad CEO, your company is going to fail. If you've got a good CEO, your company is going to do well. That's why they pay them so well. I've seen some of the worst CEOs being replaced by a good CEO. And immediately, the company starts making money. So this is good money. They're spending this money in the good direction here. Now, let's quickly go into entertainment. Dallas, this is a popular rapper in South Africa, has relocated to the USA after he suffered a stroke. And this is a huge loss to the South African industry because these youngsters, they represent a group of youngsters that cannot be replaced. So what is happening is, as we get older and older and technology changes, the youngsters who are coming can't create. So if you look across Africa, Zimbabwe, South Africa, whatever, the new youngsters can't create, they consume. So this group of youngsters, Anna Dallas, AKA, all those guys, they represent the youngsters that could be creative. There was no ChatGPT or AI at that time. And when they live with their skill. they're gone. So I don't know how this is going to be replaced, the departure of such youngsters who are leaving the country. And then Zimbabwean CEO J. Badza has died in South Africa. J. Badza was the manager of Bonang Mateba. And this is a video that he took 1 year ago, what I'm showing you here. There is no information on how he died, but he is very well known as a mentor for people in the brand management space. So he managed the brand of Bonang Mateba, and unfortunately, he has passed away, and it's not clear how he died. Well, as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. And then Titan Kiki, they've gone for a Lobola ceremony. Kiki is currently pregnant. This is the most watched couple in Zimbabwe. So the two that you're watching now, there is no single person in Zimbabwe who is watched more than these two. So they get millions and millions of views for their Facebook page. And also, I know Kiki is trying many different things, and Tati is trying Facebook. So very interesting couple. But I see that they're now walking around with the traditional healer called Gogochihoro. It's very sad. I don't think Tati is doing the right thing here. So he's going around with the Gogochihoro, and they go to the house and marketing his services. Azvipere mushe, regedzai vakomana, regedzai. Zvamurukita zvenganga. Nganga is very dangerous, but I don't know why they promote the Ngangas. But anyway, it's a decision that they've made. And then these two people here on the screen, they had a meeting yesterday. And you can see Madam Boss and Jackie Garande. Jackie Garande, I know took our command. I got a call from Jackie Garande going after me. And up to this day, my ears are still ringing. The good thing is that I've got a recording. So if you call me, recording. And then Madam Boss, so sad. I don't know what's happening to Madam Boss. She's got so much sadness in her eyes. What is happening, Madam Boss? You can tell me everything. If there is something that is going on, let me know. I cannot believe how sad she is after all the good work that she's doing. So, Madam Boss, number yangu yo, donate some files. But why you are so sad? Can you believe that even though she's done the makeup, you can still see that there is something going on with Madam Boss? I can see it right now. And unfortunately, this is what happens. Many women have to keep a secret of many things that go on behind the scenes. Also, she has lost so much weight. She has gone on to a program. I don't know what that is called. When she went to South Africa, and they removed all the fat. And she is now like a supermodel. Right, I think I've covered everything. How many minutes have we gone? 33 minutes. That's too much. I'm talking longer than Makandiwa. That is crazy. Let's look at other things that I have left here. Mnyanga's Machacha, still Musoro Seguinya, and Akupenga Mdarao, Mnyanga's Machacha, always coming out talking about it 2030. At Kumishakwake Akuna Road, Mnyanga's Machacha. Right, I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Now let's recap and then we'll look at the comments. We said Gambakwe Media sources have exclusively revealed that there is a number of nationalities, mercenaries, that have been brought in by Mnangagwa. Some of these mercenaries are currently based in neighboring countries. And when we talk of neighboring countries, we're talking of South Africa and Mozambique specifically. There is a lot of mercenaries over there are waiting to see what happens at the end of March. On the 31st of March, there's a protest that is going to take place in Zimbabwe, which has been called by the mercenaries, by the military and war veterans. So the military and war veterans have said Mnangagwa must step down. Mnangagwa is trying to put in place a standby force or a plan B so that he's not taken out. And so that if something happens and he fails, his first plan fails, which is to change all the commanders, then he's going to call upon those people to either extract him or to take out the threat. And the military commanders or generals are well aware of that plan. And I understand that they are watching these guys very closely. including the ones that got new passports. So a group of these have received new passports very recently, and those passports are being watched like a hawk. A hawk. It's really funny, a hawk. Right, so there's a new banner. Tell me what you think. You're going to be seeing this banner all over Southern Africa. Guys, I'm looking good. Look at that arm. I told you, Kuti, the foundation of a man is his arm. Your muscles in your arms are the most important muscles. And that is the first thing that a woman looks at. Kuti arm rako rakasimba here. Because anoda kubatwa kuti G. Wakamubata kuti G. Plus mubve wako, so that 1 liter engine turns into 3 liters, 1 kickstart, and we don't have to crank it. Week now, I said, come and get your free pack of Mbe at my office. So guys, most of you got a complimentary pack. Your pack must be running out. Make your orders now. I've got enough stock all over, and you're going to be seeing that banner in many, many places around Southern Africa, as I said, as our agents are starting to spread out, and we're moving to a model where you can walk in and buy. Right, let me look at the comments very quickly. Gambakwe, are you a trained journalist or a YouTuber? Gambakwe is a media company owner. Parity journalist, senior journalist, then Baba, the company owner. I, myself, would employ at 1.30 graduates, media journalists. And my job is to make sure that I bring you the best news. There is no one in the whole world who's doing what to do, which is to sit here and give you information about Africa. The people that watch this show, let me tell you, Mahere, BT, I don't know you, Wedumbu, Anulu, they're watching. And yet, I'm going to watch Matsukomangu, Java. I got to watch Java, first one, we go America. I got to more. Scots, I can give you the list. And the sea, I'm going to Kura like Anacha Misa. There's no day when Chamisa doesn't watch my show. Makandiwa, when I say, I talk longer than Makandiwa. Makandiwa laughs. I can see him. So, guys, let me tell you what's so important. What's so important is for us to move away from this crazy, crazy situation where you've got one of the best countries with the best resources, and all you're thinking about is getting more and more degrees. Do you know there are some Zimbabweans with the masters, and the masters here, Shona, later masters in English, masters in geography, and then you see PhD, professor, all that with no application. Too much knowledge is dangerous. Our people are too much full of knowledge and little action. Let's fix our country. We are going to create one of the best countries, and I'll be part of it. Let's not become people who run away from the situation. And then besides all this, the grace of God always prevails. No one will ever defeat the purpose of God. That is true. Socrates, what you've said here, many people don't hear it, but I totally hear you. It's only God who makes us see around the corners. Do you know the situation that I've been in? Every time I get in the situation, I get out stronger. And that is amazing. And I love it. Gambakwe, are you sure about your sources? Your headlines are a bit questionable. Let's wait and see. True, you can't know everything military. Imagine if the military stuff was known by everyone. What would that say? Let's say Mnangawa just tells you tomorrow I'm going to change the commander here, and then I'm going to change the commander there. They don't do it that way. It's a secret. But my brothers, everybody in the military wants change. There is no one who wants to drive in this stupid road. There's no one who wants what is happening in Zimbabwe when nothing ever changes. So the only person who is a problem right now is Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is the problem in our country. And that man must go. The army has already said it. The war veterans have already said it. Do not be questioning everything. So don't be questioning everything. Be part of it. And on the 31st of March, tikakuona uchiti tucha neka indrive kako, neka truck kako, neka bhazi kako, neka chibhuku kako. Ticha nechibhuku uchienda kuchikoro. Unoshanda kupi? Uchienda kunasti kana use it. Tucha nechibhuku. Unoenda kupi? Unoshanda kupi? Uchidadirwa nechigananda icho. Ndiye munhu ari kupai mota. Munhu asina kumbosvika grade 7. Guys, let's be serious. And one man is in jail right now with no date of trial. So, Zimbabweans, let's not just be questioning everything. For once, fight Mnangagwa. Don't let that man come back. Mnangagwa was gone 100% when that speech was given by Geza. People have allowed him to come back. Don't allow him to come back. There's my mercenaries, okay. Let them go. In India, they follow me around on a day basis. I see them everywhere. But apana yekutamba munotya kufa here omana kusikufa ndekupi kusikufa ndekupi. Have you heard this statement? Kusikufa ndekupi. Koye Mnangagwa wacho haachi here. 12 million people being chased by 2 people. Ndokunonzikita makwai. Makwai, Evan. So don't be like that. Okay. Malan Blacks. Malan Blacks, you make me laugh. My jokes as well. Don't read the comment from Malan Blacks, guys. It's so bad. Tawanda, thank you very much for joining. So, guys, I need your support with the Mve. Please back your orders. I need to travel overseas within the next 2 weeks. So if you don't want to make an order now, just make it so that I can manage or be able to travel. I need to meet my target. Yeah, my sponsor. So I need 100 guys overseas to buy. UK, Canada, and Australia. Please buy so that I can travel overseas within the next 2 weeks. If I meet my target to sponsor. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It's been amazing and I love it. But before I go, let me look at the Herald newspaper so that we don't go without seeing what they're saying over there at the Herald Zimbabwe. So Herald newspaper of Zimbabwe is published. I've looked at H Metro. I've given you the stories from H Metro. Today, SADC is going to be meeting virtually in Zimbabwe. So we'll be able to see what SADC has to say about the situation in the DRC. So check it out over here before I go very quickly. That is the Herald newspaper. Silencing the guns. SADC mission to silence guns persists. Mnangagwa achave urwa vhudzi iro. Ndoda kuti vamubvise vhudzi nereza kana mujere. You know kuti ukaenda mujere, they cut your hair off. And then bridging the gaps. What do we have here? Tabwire. This was a video with Tabwire where he won an award. I will let you know. I'll show you the video when I was talking. And then someone has died at ZEC. That is Miss Tembilo Mlilo. Has passed away at ZEC. Chugumba Makanyara, the deputy chairperson of and all that, would like to express their sincere condolences to the Mlilo family on the untimely demise of Commission's Wange district officer, Mr. Tembile Mlilo, who passed away on 5 March 2025. So go and check it out. Mr. Tembile Mlilo has passed away at ZEC. And let's see if there's anything else of interest here. Counterfeit, a threat to Zim industry. I don't know why the sport is coming before business. Musona back in the Warriors fold, and Ketsi Coventry, she wants to become a candidate for the IOC president. So that is what we have in the Herald newspaper. And then in the Chronicle newspaper, Chronicle is the southern region of Zimbabwe. So the Chronicle newspaper is very interesting because they show what happens chronically. Chronicle Zimbabwe, it shows what happens on the ground. So if you look at the Chronicle newspaper, 48 hours notice to vendors. So I told you yesterday that Mnangagwa has chased all vendors out of the streets. Murukona flat right behind you. That's where I was living, in that flat there, when I was in Bulawayo. So they fired everybody from the streets, and they say no one should come and sell on the streets. They're also afraid of the night demos, so they don't want anyone on the street. There's going to be a curfew. And then, obviously, the RBZ, as usual, talking nonsense. John Mishavan, the worst person, the worst central bank manager or governor ever. I don't even read his stuff. That is okay. Then 8 positions of judge with the Labor Court of Zimbabwe. Over here, if I judge, you can go check it out. My lawyers, Manyanyisa Kuwanda. Everyone is a law firm in Zimbabwe. Okay, so I think we've covered all the important news here. That is what is there today in Zimbabwe. End of unregulated liquor sales, public drinking. Zimbabwe is a joke. Zimbabwe is a mess because Mnangagwa, it's as if he's not there. Then suddenly one day he just wakes up and makes like 100 rules. Then it goes away. Mnangagwa, Arkuraivan, Nenzara. Right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And I'll be back tonight as I give you an update on the protests. Please follow Comrade Nyokai Mabunu. Comrade Nyokai Mabunu is one of the most followed people in Zimbabwe. Akasimba Mrume yeye, Comrade Nyokai Mabunu. I talk to him every day and it's amazing. So thank you very much for watching and a good day to you all.
Uko kuno abo ano mamuona gere nai Gambakwe ano pura meso